Hello, welcome. We're going to be looking at one of the ways of solving optimization problem known as simplex method. Simplex method. There are many methods you can use in solving optimization problem. You can use graphical method. This is one of the linear methods known as simplex method. So given this optimization problem, maximize. Whenever you're given optimization problem, you're told to maximize or minimize. Maximize this objective function p equal to x plus 4y. Subject to the following constraints: minus x plus 2y less than or equal to 6 and 5x plus 4y less than or equal to 40, where x and y is always greater than or equal to 0. That means they can never be negative values. So this is the objective function and these are the constraints. How do you solve this? How do you maximize this subject to this? First of all, introduce the slave variable. That's the first thing you do. Introduce the slave variables to the constraints. This constraint, introduce slave variable w1 and w2, and secondly, equate the objective function to 0. Equate this to 0. So now we have this constraint minus x1 plus 2x plus w1 slave variable to it equal to 6. Change this to equal to, for this second one, 5x plus 4y plus another slave variable w2 equal to 40. Then this objective function equate it to 0 by taking everything to this side. So we have p, x going over here minus x, 4y going over here minus y equal to 0. So this is what we have now. So you see we've introduced slave variables, and we've equated objective function to 0. So this is what we have. With what we have now, construct what we call simplex w. Very simple. Write basis and put the slave variables that you have, w1, w2, and p, w1, w2, and p. Put them here as the basics. Then on this column, put your variables x, y, then w1, w2, then b is what is on the equal to sign, first 40 this. Then check is when you add up everything here. So this is how you get your simplex w. So having done this, for x, what is the coefficient of x? 1. What is the coefficient of y? 2. Coefficient of w1? 1. What is the coefficient of w2 for this first one? Is 0. Coefficient 6, you bring it back. Add up everything here, you get the check. For the second one, coefficient of x 5, coefficient of y 4, coefficient of w1, there's no w1 here, so it's 0. Coefficient of w2 1. What is on the b? Equal to here 40. Add up everything here, you get 50. For the p, coefficient of x here is what? Minus 1. Of y is minus 4. Of w1, there's no w1, so 0. Of w2, there's no w2, 0. The check is 0. Add up everything here, you get this. So very simple. Minus 1 plus 2 is 1 plus 1, 2 plus 6, 8. 5 plus 4, 9 plus 1, 10 plus 40, 50. Minus 1 plus minus 4 minus 5. You have it there. So this is actually addition of everything here. Now, having gotten this simplest w, which is the next step, the first step is to introduce slave variable and equate our objective function to 0. The second step is construct the simplest w, noting the index row, which is what we've done. We've constructed the simplest w. Now we need to know the index row. So what is the index row? Index row is simply the row that has p. The row that has p. So this is the index row. This is the index row. So once you've noted the index row, the next thing is for you to use the algorithm for solving simplex method to solve down and find your answer. So in the algorithm, that's why I say start the algorithm. First thing you do is that you identify the key column. In the next class, I'm going to be teaching you how to identify the key column, how to identify the key row, how to identify the pivots, how to use the pivot to make the main row, and how to use the main row to do the various manipulations that will give you the answer. So first of all, note this. You're given the problem, the objective function, together with the constraints. Forget about this last one. These are the major constraints that you're using. Introduce slave variables w1, w2 to the constraints. Equate the objective function to 0. Construct your simplest w by writing w1, w2 here, and other variables x, y, w1, w2. P contains the what is on the equal to sign side, the right hand side of the equal to sign. Check is the addition of everything here. And the index row is the row with the P, the row with the P. So once you've done that, start the algorithm by first getting the key column, getting the key row, getting the pivot, and getting the main row. So that is what we are going to be doing, getting the various rows. So I'm going to just clean up this so that we can start off the algorithm. So the algorithm follows from this very thing. And the first thing in the algorithm is to select the column with the highest negative entry in the index row, and that is the key column. So how do I identify the key column, which is the first thing here, key column? First thing in the algorithm is the key column. So what is the column with the highest negative value in the index row? You can see that it is this one. So you mark this column as the key column. That's the key column. Very simple. So you can see from my algorithm, key column first, then next thing is key row. How do you get the key row? In each row, we now divide the value in the B column by the positive entry in the key column. Now we have the key column here. Now we have the B column. So divide by the positive entry. This is negative entry, so forget about it. So we divide by this. 6 divided by 2 will give us 3. Let me write small thing here, 3. Then 40 divided by 4 will give us what? 10. So which one is the smaller value between this and this? The smaller ratio is what we call the row with the smaller ratio is the key row. So the key row, we've seen the key column. The next thing is what? Key row. After dividing, the one smaller, this is the smaller one. So mark this row. This row is the what? Key row. So this is the what? Key row. Whereas this one is the what? Key column. So that's the second thing in the steps. Then the third thing now is to get the pivot. You can see key column, key row, pivot. So how do you get the pivot? How do you get the pivot? The pivot is simply the intersection between the key row and the key column. Can you see the intersection here is 2? So number 3 is the what? Pivot. And the pivot is the intersection between the key column and the key row, which is 2. So we identify the pivot. Then the next thing that we do now is to use anything that is the pivot, divide through everything here by that pivot so that you find a new row known as the main row. So if you divide this one by 2, you have what? Minus 1 over 2. This one you have 1. This one you have 1 over 2. You're dividing everything here by 2. So you divide this one, you have 0. Divide this one by 2, you have 3. Divide this one by 2, you have 4. So the fourth thing is to find the main row. So once you divide everything here by the pivot, you get what we call the main row. So this is the main row. We found the main row. So once you get the main row, replace this key row with this main row. You're going to delete this and place this in. Note all these steps that I'm pointing out, you have to draw a tableau and be identifying them in stages. It is known as the algorithm. Very, very important. Very, very important. So once we have the main row, the next thing we now do is to use the main row to manipulate. So the next thing we now do is that we now use this main row to manipulate these columns, the values here, so that we can get 0 here and get 0 here. So that's the next thing we do. And once we do that manipulation, you see, after the main row manipulation, so the last thing is to manipulate to get zeros below the pivot. Make sure you manipulate to get zeros. You want this the pivot, get zeros here. Once you get zeros here, then what is remaining can be said to be the answer. Or if you still have a negative value in your in the wrong place, you still have to keep repeating the steps from down to bottom. So we're going to do this manipulation now. So to do this manipulation, I'm going to just keep this table. I'm going to just delete only this. so that we can use it to start our manipulation. So I've already given you the algorithm. So now I'm going to be having minus 1 over 2, 1, half, 0, 3, and 4. So that's what I'm having. So this is the table that I have now. So with this table, I can do some manipulation to get here and here to be 0. That's what I'm going to do. Some manipulations to get those two places to be 0. So having done this, I can simply clean out this board so that I can show you how to do this manipulation to get here and here to be 0. Now, if you take out the value here is 4 and the value here is 4, this is 4 and this is minus 4. How can we get here to be 0? So we could do row 2 minus 4 times row 1 and name it the new row 2. You will see that we can have here to be 0. So how do we do that? What is the row 2 here? Row 2 here, the value is 5. This is first row, row 1, row 2. So the value here is 5 minus 4 times, what is the row 1? Minus 1 over 2, minus 1 over 2. So what will it give us? I will have 5 minus times minus plus. Half times 4, I'll have what? 2. So 5 plus 2 will give me what? 7. That's the first number. So I will come here and replace this 5 with 7. For the second one, I have 4 minus 4 times, this is the row 2, 4. 4 times the row 1, the row 1 is 1. The row 1 is 1. So I have 4 minus 4 times 1, 4, equal to 0. So you can see I already have 0 here. So that's what I'm looking for. So I'll continue this for anything you do for one, you must do for all of them. So for this other one, I have 0 minus 4 times the row 1 of this is what? Half, which will give me 0 minus 2, which is minus 2. Then for this one, I'll have 1 minus 4 times 0, which will give me 1 minus 0, which is 1. Then for this one, I'll have 40 minus 4 times 3, which will give me 40 minus 4 times 3 is 12, which will give me 30 what? 28.
28.
Is it 28? It will give me 28. Now for this one, I have what? 50 minus 4 times, what is here? Here is 4, right?
Yes.
4 times 4, which will give me 50 minus 16. 50 minus 16 is what?
That's 54.
32.
32.
34. You understand? So this is what I'm going to replace all these. So here now, I'm replacing all these places with, the first one is what? 7, 0, minus 2, 1, 28, 34. So that's what I have, or 32. Is it 34 or 32?
Should be 34.
34, right? 34. So once I've done that, you see I have 0 here. So I need to make this one 0 too. So how do I make it 0? I can do similar thing like what I did to this other one. I can also say this is what? This is arrow 3 now. Arrow 3 minus, this is minus 4. So I can say times minus 4 instead of 4 times arrow 1. Good. So give me the new arrow 3. So doing that, what will I have here now? I'll have minus 1 minus 4 times the arrow 1 is what? Minus half. So this will give me minus 1. Minus times minus is plus. So you have minus, this time this is 2. This will give minus 1 minus 2 minus 3. Is that?
Yes.
Good. So now I check the second one. I'm going to have what? Minus 4 minus 4 times The arrow 1 for this is what? 1. So this will give me minus 4 times. Minus 4 times 1 will give me minus 4. Minus 4 times minus will give me plus 4. So it will give me 0 here. So you see, I already have 0 here. So for this other one, I can have 0 minus into brackets minus 4 times, what's the arrow 1 for 0? Half. So I have 0, this times this is minus times this plus 2, giving me 2. I do for this one 0 minus 4 times, what's the arrow for this? 0. So I have 0 minus 0, which is what? 0. For this one, I have 0 minus 4 times 3, is it? Which is 0 minus times minus plus 4 times 3, 12. So I have 12. Then lastly, I have minus 5 minus bracket minus 4 times
minus
4, which will give me minus 5 minus times
16.
minus is plus 4 times 4, 16. So
11.
minus 5 plus 16 is what?
11.
11. You see that? So with that, I can clean up all these ones and replace them with this. I have what? Minus 3. I have 0. I have 2. I have 0. I have 12. And I have what? 11. Is that clear? So with that, we've been able to convert this and this. We've been able to do our manipulations to what? Zeros. And that's what we actually needed. That is what we actually needed. So the last step in the algorithm is step number 5, which is what? Change the basic variables. So the basic variable we are going to change. Once we have 0, 0 here, next thing we do is that we change it to y and cancel this one, so that y will now take the first line. So with that, we can now say that our answers are x is equal to 0 because x is not along this side. You see, you only have y and this. So because x is not here, you can say x is equal to 0. Then we can say that y is equal to what is on the b part. What is on the equal to there now? You can see that y is equal to 3. Anything here is 3. Then we can now say that w2 is equal to 28. And finally, that our p is equal to what? 12. So this is our solution at this point. This is our solution at this point. But this is not our final solution. This is not our final solution. Why is it not our final solution? So it's not our final solution. Once we have a negative value here, like here we have minus 3, and even everything here is positive, then we can say that this is the final solution. But once you have a negative value here, then we have to start the algorithm again from the beginning. So we have to start this algorithm again from the beginning. We just repeat what we've done. That's the simple thing we do. We repeat what we've done. And this time around, the key column is the x column. So the key column becomes the x column, which is the column with the most negative value. So this is what we are now going to be using as our key column, because it is the column with the negative value. Before it was minus 4, but minus 4 is no longer there. So this becomes our new key column. So identifying this as the key column, which is, you see from the algorithm, the key column is the first thing. So once we identify this column, next thing is identify the key row by dividing all the positives with all the positives here, and you have, this is the only positive one we have. So the key row becomes this one, since you're not actually comparing with anyone. So this becomes the key row. That's for the second iteration that you're doing. Then find the pivot. What's the pivot? The intersection between the key column and the key row. So the pivot becomes 7. Just similar to what I did before. Main row. What is the main row? That means you should divide everything here by 7. So that you have 1 here, you have 0 here, you have 2 over 7. So that becomes the main row. So once you find your main row, do the manipulation. That's the next thing. So the manipulation, just the way I did this one, you also do it. And the manipulation simply means this time around, here, one is here now. So you should try and make this one 0. So once you make this one 0, you see that the solution is solved, because there might not be any other negative value in the index column. So once you repeat this with this procedure I said now, you see here becomes 0. And so the next iteration actually makes you to have the right answer. So this is not the answer to the simplest question, but the next iteration, which I'm going to give you as an example to do. I'll also do it in subsequent videos. So thank you. Follow the procedure, is exactly the way I said. And thank you. God bless you. Click on the subscribe button, share our videos, support us in any way you can. Thank you and God bless.